Back in the days, for me, I've always been a confident young man, always one that would speak out in public. I've always been confident, assertive. I wanted to be a football player. That never worked out. Then I went into boxing. So I was boxing for a little bit. That was pretty good. And then I went into business. A lot of people just forget the power of your imagination. I see myself as a champion. People see me as champion. My goal right now is to create and help to create 40 to 50 people who are also 6-figure earners and 7-figure earners in the next 12 months.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Need to Succeed podcast. And like I always say, this podcast is designed for us to have conversations with great entrepreneurs just to really understand how they think and how they process things, right? Because oftentimes you get two people who have had the exact same situation. One person decides, because of this situation, I'm going to go on to have incredible success. And the other person decides, because of this situation, I can't actually achieve the things that I want to achieve. Same situation, but what is the difference between these two people? How is their mindset and how do they process things? That is exactly what we look to uncover on this podcast. And today, I have got an absolutely incredible guest that will help us to break down this mindset because he is a serial entrepreneur. He is a business mentor. He's a speaker who has spoken on some of the largest stages across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Derrick Alexander. How you doing, my friend? Did you like that? Because you're going to go see Tyson and Derek Chisora tomorrow.
Listen, man, I'm excited to hear what I've got to say after that introduction, man. So, I'm grateful, bro. Thank you so much, man.
You're very, very welcome, bro. Honestly, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir.
I'm super excited about this conversation.
Absolutely, man.
Brilliant stuff. You're very welcome. So look, let's get this show on the road. We have got a tradition on the podcast, right?
Yes.
And the very first question is, what does success actually mean to you?
Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited to be here. First and foremost, I wanted to say thank you so much for having me on this podcast. We actually met not long ago, man, and just to see the connection that we've made is incredible, man. And it just shows you that life is not about how long you've known someone; it's about the connection that's made. You know what I'm saying? So, super grateful to be here, man. So, but yeah, for me, success. My mentor said it best, and he got it from someone called Earl Nightingale, and he said that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, right? Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So what that means is success is a moving target. So if someone wants to get to that next level, it's really about understanding that wherever you're going in life, there's literally a journey, a process, and it's a moving target. So people think success is a destination. It's not. It's a journey. It's actually someone saying, okay, they want to make X amount of money per month, or they want to get this car, this house. Once they get that, there's a next level. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It never stops. So even if someone says, well, I want to, if I make my first million, I'm going to be happy. Well, guess what? When you make your first million, you're going to want to help someone to make a million. You're going to want to make 10. When you make $1 billion, now you want to, help more people, right? Go to space. Look at Richard Branson still going, Bill Gates still going, Elon Musk still going, right? So that's my definition of success. But I got, it's not my definition. I got it from someone that was, Earl Nightingale, who is a legend in the self-development space.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've actually listened to there was a particular statement, which is about, I think, a 30-minute clip of Earl Nightingale.
Yeah.
And, when I go on my morning walks, not right now, actually, because sometimes I go through different playlists, right? But there was a time when I was going on my morning walk and I was listening to that 30-minute speech that he made. And yes, it's such a great explanation, success. Every time I heard it, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
For sure.
So what is that ideal to you? You have to have something that you're working towards. You have to have something that is worthy of you chasing. That's why they talk about having big, juicy goals, right? Because then it's worthy. If it's just something that isn't really quite big enough, something that doesn't challenge you, something that doesn't excite you, then is it really success? Because it's just something that everyone else can do. And we know with the marketplace, if everyone can do it,
Yes.
the marketplace is going to pay you accordingly.
Yes.
Right? But if it's something that's big, juicy, then it's really worth it.
Yes.
That is what true success is.
For sure.
Absolutely. Such a great explanation.
Thank you, bro.
And listen, bro, like, let's just talk a little bit more about yourself. And, I just mentioned all those things. You're, serial entrepreneur. You've spoken on some of the biggest stages across the world. But what I really like to do on this podcast and what the podcast has been designed for is to really understand the journey.
For sure.
Like, how did you come to become who you are today?
For sure.
And how have you actually got here? So let's just take it back a little bit and just kind of get to understand you a little bit more. So, like, who was, Derrick, let's say, back when you were in school?
Boy, Derrick back in school days. I mean, well, listen, that was back in the 2000s. And I always say that growing up in the 2000s was probably like, I enjoyed that period of time because there was no social media then. Life was way more, I believe people were kind of a little bit more happier maybe. I don't know. I just feel like back in those days, we were just happy just to be, hey, go to school, come back, play football, and back in the days for me, I've always been a confident young man, always one that would speak out in public. I was the guy in class that would always be the class clown. If you ask anyone that went to school with me, they would tell you, right? I was the guy that was super confident, always. I've always been this person, right? I've always been confident, assertive, making jokes, bantering with people. That was always my thing. I was always that guy that was just overexcited. But, I got into a little bit of trouble when I was younger. I had a little bit of, a few friends around me that were not, let's say, the best influences. And then, they kind of dragged me to another type of lifestyle. And that kind of caused some things to happen that I wouldn't wish on people, just, situations that we'll go into a little bit later. But, for me, I was always the class clown, always a happy guy, smiling. The charming young man, and always, for the most part, very happy. But I always had an ambition for great things. When I was younger, I wanted to be a football player. That was my goal, right? I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm not sure if any United fans are watching this. I know we're going through a hard time right now, but don't worry, man.
There's two here. Yeah. I'm a United fan as well.
Oh, man, we're two here, right? So,
I can't believe I just stated that publicly.
Well, we're working through it, guys. You know what I'm saying? But literally just growing up, watching United, watching David Beckham was my hero, man. David Beckham was one of my heroes for sure.
You're a winger.
I was a left winger, yeah. Yeah. Back in my glory days, you know what I mean?
What about Giggs?
Nah, man. Giggs is good. I like Giggs. But I mean, like, in terms of my idol, I mean, Ronaldo's second. Even though Ronaldo done what he done, I understand. But as a player for the club, Beckham, Ronaldo, Rooney. Those are my three top players of all time for United. But Beckham, way up there, man. He was my role model. Watching the film Bending Like Beckham, he was my guy.
Okay.
So Beckham was a hero of mine. Also, Aaliyah, rest in peace, a singer. She was a big inspiration to me growing up. So
did you want to be a singer as well?
No.
Okay.
Only in the shower. But yeah, Aaliyah. Then obviously I had Craig David, a couple people that. Also, Allen Iverson as well.
Yeah.
And I want to go into how those people have helped me become who I am today. But yeah, growing up, wanted to be a football player. That never worked out. Then I went into boxing. So I was boxing for a little bit. That was pretty good. And then I went into business. So, but a young man, I always had, as a young 7, 8, 9-year-old, I was always, focusing on how can I become better? I want to become a great person. Even from young, I knew that there was something inside of me that, God really had something there to really, hey, you got this, It was like a confidence that I had.
Where did that come from?
That came from partly watching the great people like the Beckhams and the Allen Iversons do great things in their careers, in their spaces. But also, I think it was just, my mother seeing what it took for her to raise me and my older brother, being raised in a single parent home, in a council estate. But she was always strong. She was always striving for more, making sure that we had food on the table. I remember one time back in 2003, 2002, she, after school, we literally went all the way to another shop, get some food, and it was like 10, we got home at like 9-10 p.m. and she was so tired, and she still made a whole meal for us, and I was starving that day, and that time was, things were quite tough back then, but she done everything she could for us. You know what I mean? So that also gave me a desire that, hey, I've got to be successful to help her.
What was it like kind of watching your mom, go through those tough times?
I mean, I was young, so I couldn't process everything, but I understood kind of what was going on. I knew that I saw other families that were living a little bit differently to us, but I admired her, man. Till this day, she's my first ever mentor, first ever coach, first ever inspiration was my mother.
Wow.
She taught me how to be stronger, how to be a warrior. She's fought through so much. Shout out to mom. I love you, mom, if you're watching this. My hero, man. My hero. Incredible. Like my ride or die, my hero. Love of my life, man. I'm saying she taught me so much about how to be strong, how to overcome obstacles. And it wasn't like she said to me, hey, Derrick, here's how you do it, right? Here's how you be strong. It was like just going through it and seeing her overcome those challenges. Yeah.
Amazing. It's basically like what Gary Vee says, right? When he's talking about content, he says, document, don't sell. So by just watching her, you could see, okay, well, this is how you go through it. Like, because
Absolutely.
She's just actually becoming an example instead of telling you what to do.
Absolutely.
Incredible. Brilliant stuff. So, you were the confident guy in school.
Yeah.
So you always kind of had this swagger about you anyway, busting jokes, class clown, which is quite weird because all of these things, I mean, the confidence is fun, but, the making jokes, being the class clown is, I mean, in school, that doesn't get you very far with the teachers, right?
True.
But it's also like a very common trait among successful entrepreneurs. So it's weird. I don't understand why that is, because as an entrepreneur, when you got staff, you kind of want them to listen to what you're telling them to do. But when you were back in school, it's almost like this opposite. You didn't really want to listen to teachers because almost like you felt like you were trapped, and also there's actually a different way. I think there's a different way, so why can't I just do it my way? Why do I have to do it this one way? And is that something that allows you to become a successful entrepreneur in the end as well? For sure. Which is pretty interesting. But then you touched on kind of hanging around with certain people and certain things happen. Right. Do you mind expanding on that?
Yes, for sure. So going through school, we to be around the cool guys is the cool thing to do, right? You're around the cool guys in school. Hey, man, I'm with the in crowd. You don't want to be a geek, the guy with the glasses, the guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm doing all my exams today. People didn't respect those people, right? But people that were the class clowns, the happy people, the people that were with the latest kickers. We used to wear kickers back in the day, right? Kickers. We used to wear all these, trainers or black. The superstars, Adidas superstar sneakers, and those were the guys that were the in crowd. The girls loved them, the guys loved them, and I remember hearing one of my teachers say to me, and Mr. Green, I have to give a plug to Mr. Ricardo Green. He was actually one of my first ever mentors in life, period. Mr. Ricardo Green is still a teacher today. He was the only teacher that believed in me, and I know Mr. Green, you're gonna watch this, man. I love you, bro, for real. Like, he was a backbone for me. Because in school, all the teachers, or most of the teachers, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's little Junior. He's in trouble again, right? Well, Mr. Green always like had my back. Always, like, he was my head of year for a couple of years, and he was always making sure that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna make sure this kid is has a future. He always invested into me. Like, he always invested time into me. And I remember one time, back in 2007 or 2008, he asked a question in school. He said, hey, guys, what's the meaning of... He said something about, what's the purpose of education? It was some sort of question like that. What's the purpose of education, or what's the purpose of learning? Or something like that. And I raised my hand. I do not know to this day where the answer came from. But I said to him, Mr. Green, the meaning of education is so we can fulfill our potential. Now, a young man, right... Year 7, year 8, saying that, he was like, he looked at me like, to fulfill your potential? He was, and he couldn't believe it, because like, this young kid, I was always the guy running around doing madness, and he's like, this young man is actually quite articulate. He actually knows what he's talking about. So then he pulled me aside. He was like, you know what? You got a lot in you. He mentioned something to me, and then from that moment on, he saw greatness in me. Until this day, we speak. We speak, regularly, and man, Mr. Green, it's incredible. I'm so grateful that he got to see the change in me as well, because he believed in me.
Amazing.
And now I'm on a podcast shouting him out and making the world know that all it takes is one person to believe in you. It doesn't have to be thousands of people. But in terms of the people in school, the in crowd, it was smoking, hanging with girls, and after school we would bunk. We would bunk during school. We would there was like a gap in the
periods.
Yeah, there was like a gap in the gate. It's like an outdoor. There's like a gate that's separating the school from the outside. And so someone was able to take one of the panels off the gate. So was able to sneak out of the school. So during like 12 p.m., 1 p.m., during lunch break, we'll go out and buy chips. We'll go out and walk around the Newham Leisure Centre area. We'll go and play football even, just crazy stuff, right? Go smoke or whatever. And that was back in the day. And I thought I was a cool kid. But little did I know, I was losing track of time, because now I'm losing, I'm losing education. I'm losing time that I should be using to learn. And the only lessons that I liked was PE,
of course,
design, technology, all the prep. Because I'm a creative minded person. My brain is the more creative side. So anything creative, I'm into it. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it was growing up with those guys.
And then how did you kind of figure out, well, you know what, this probably isn't the right thing to be doing?
Well, it was after 2010 I went to prison.
Okay.
I went to like a juvenile prison. I got involved in some stuff, and it was getting quite intense at that time. I was a 15-year-old young kid, and I was just not following the right protocol, clearly, right? Hanging out with the wrong, and now it got more intense. Now I became a street pharmacist, if that's what you want to call it, right? A street pharmacist, prescribing pharmaceutical products, right? That wasn't exactly the right pharmaceutical products, right?
Narcotics.
Yeah, it wasn't paracetamol, guys. It wasn't paracetamol. But yeah, it was just I went through that, and then I went to prison at 15 years old for 11 months. So I'll be honest, it was when I was inside that I realized, okay, I'm a young kid inside of a prison with grown men, 18-year-old, and it was up to 18-year-old men, big. These men were like 3 times my size. They were like adult size guys. Some of them were 16, 17, but they were huge. And I was a little skinny light skinned kid walking into the prison. But I had a lot of confidence about me, so I carried myself in a certain way. But that prison experience taught me a lot.
Like when you first get arrested, like what's going through your mind?
Well, for that case, I'd been arrested a few times before that, but for that case, I was like, I'm getting out, because I had £300 at the time. That was a lot of money, right? £300 waiting for me. I had some money that I'd made, so I was ready to get that money and go shopping. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna buy some Air Forces. Back in the day, we were wearing tracksuits, so it wasn't. I didn't wear a suit. I don't think I even wore a suit once. I mean, I went to school in uniform, but apart from that, I hated suits, right? So I'll be like, I'm gonna go buy a tracksuit. I'm gonna go buy some nice Air Maxes. You know what I mean? I wanna go look fly. So when I can, I'll pass through my friends, they can see me in this new tracksuit. Because at the time there was these Adidas tracksuits with the 3 stripes, going down the arms and the legs, black, red, blue, different colors. So I was excited. I was like, I'm gonna go shopping. I want to go buy some, food or whatever, have a good time.
So you just been arrested.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with some of this narcotics on you or whatever.
Well, it wasn't with that.
Okay,
actually, it was for like a fight that I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it was quite an intense fight. So I didn't have anything on me. I had no paracetamol on me.
No paracetamol. Okay, that's cool.
But
so it was a fight you had, and you're in there, cell, but because you've been arrested so many times, nothing kind of came of it. You weren't even thinking it was going to be this severe. At which point did you realize, hang on, this Adidas tracksuit bomb is not happening?
Well, when I went into the court, the lady, I never forget her voice. She goes, instead of remanding, we're not going to release you. We're going to remand you into custody until it was I went in, was it August the 5th? I got sentenced. And then I got remanded until October the 18th, 2010.
Wow.
So now I'm in the courts. I'm sitting in the court. There's all these lawyers, solicitors, jury, whatever, right? And some of my co-defendants are with me. And I looked at the lady. I was like,
"What does that mean?"
"What? Remand? I'm going to the slammer. Oh my gosh! I'm going to, I was like, but I'm the kind of person where something like that happens, I don't while out. It takes me a while to process what's just happened. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, so then they take me into another cell. They're like, okay, we're gonna take you into the cell. You're gonna have to get prepared. We're gonna give you a change of clothes or whatever. Then we're gonna take you to the prison right away. So I'm like, wow. Bearing in mind, I'm still in school at this time. And a lot of my school friends, they didn't know this until like a few months after. But imagine, like, I'm in. So now they carry me over to the prison van. I'm driving into this prison, man. They're driving me to this prison. It's in Milton Keynes, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow, like, I actually messed up here. I really messed up. What's mom gonna think? What's big bro gonna think? What's my family? What's my school friends gonna think? I'm in year 10. This is when I should be doing my GCSEs. And I'm going to the penitentiary, right? It's a whole different E. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different E. And I was like, wow. Walked in there. The first thing I done, I said, bro, can I call my mom? I called my mom. She couldn't believe. She's like, what? What's going on?
Wow.
Where are you? I was like, something happened. I'm inside. She was like, what? She couldn't believe it. And that was quite a hard moment for me, man, because it was like, I didn't know how long I was gonna be in there for. I knew I was on remand until October, but it's a whole 2 months. Like, I can't see my friends. I can't see anybody. So I remember going into the prison, and they were like, "Hey, this is Junior." That's my actual name before Derrick, right? That's like my name's Derrick now, but my dad's name's Derrick, so it's like Derrick Junior. But I was known as Junior up until recently. And they were like, "Junior, put me into my cell." And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, I'm in a cell with a bed, little small TV, Bible next to the bedside. And then that was it. Just a shower. Wow. And I was like, wow, I'm here. But that was when I realized, okay, when I come out, I got to fix up. I can't afford to go back in again after I come out. That was when I already decided I'm going to change.
That's incredible. Like when you told your mum,
yeah,
and she actually realized that, oh, my son's in prison.
Yeah.
Like, what was her reaction? And how did that make you feel?
My mum is quite a relaxed personality. She's not too frantic. She's very calm and composed. She speaks like this. Very, very regal, very soft voice. A very, classy, soft voice. Oh, son, I can't believe what's happened, She's very, understanding. She was upset, but she's like, well, I'm going to come see you. And, she came to see me, and it was emotional. It was hard, but I told her, Mom, I promise you, I'm going to come out and I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to change. I promise you, Mom, I'm going to make you proud. I kept saying that to her.
Why is that?
Because I wanted to make her realize that, yes, I made a mistake, but I haven't lost my head. I haven't, like some people, they in and out of prison for their whole life. Some people end up dying after they come out, or even sometimes inside the prison, right? So it's like, I'm like, no, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be a jail baby. Not over here. No way.
Wow.
Because I told her, I want to make you proud.
Yeah. And how long were you in there for?
11 months.
11 months.
Yeah.
So you come out.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
So I came out, and we went into this massive court called the Royal Courts of Justice to get my release. And I came out, and I came out of Central London. It's so crazy how it works out because only a few years later, or about 9 years later, I actually had an office that me and my business partners had 5-minute walk from that court. And one day in 2019, I walked past the court with tears in my eyes after changing my life.
Wow.
But I came out anyway, but 2011, I came out. And shout out to Drake, man. You know what I mean? Because listen, the album just dropped, the Take Care album. Remember the Take Care album? Mm-hmm. 2011. And that album got me through so much because that album was the first album that music is a deep thing to me. I don't listen to music just for the sake of it. It's certain songs that really help me through situations. It speaks to my soul. And I remember that putting on that album, I came out, what was I thinking? I was thinking, okay, I've got to find a way to get out of this lifestyle. So a lot of my old friends were popping up. Hey man, you're out now. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Let's continue. Where we continue what? Oh, I'm starting again. I'm starting a whole new life. You know, I dabbled in a few things, but when I came out, but I really, for the most part, my mind just shifted. And I remember, cool mum, cool my brother, I'm out. They were excited, came to see me. And I was like, guys, I promise you, I'm going to be better. I'm going to change. I'm not going to be the same person I was.
Wow.
And I was 16, 17 then.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that because, I mean, you're still really young, right? You
Really
went in
young.
at 15, you come out 16,
Really
so you're still
Really
young. But it seemed like you had this like mindset shift. But, you know, what really happens next? How do you kind of come out of that? You're 15, you've missed your GCSE, I'm assuming at this point.
Yeah, I missed everything.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're 15, you got no GCSEs, now you've got this tag of having been into prison.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know, you know, a lot of times we tend to be more braver, you know,
Yeah.
when you're young. But
For sure.
Are you processing all of this at a time, or you just don't know what's going to happen, but you know you're going to change? Like, what's going through your mind?
Well, I think for me, you know, I'm so grateful to God because I look back and I've got to make some calls after this because it's flooding back to me, all the emotions, like all the people that were in my life at that time. You know, I came out, I went into a care home because I was in care from 2004 to 2012. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
My mum she went through a lot, like mental health, and she done her best, but it was best that I was not at the family home, just for her to have time to work on herself and to get better, you know?
Yeah.
So I was already in care before going inside. So I came out and I'm back in care, but now I'm in a residential care home. Bro, I walked into this care home in Barking. That's why when I go to Barking, my heart just melts, man. I love that place so much. Barking is where I came out. And when I came out, I moved to Barking. My social worker at the time, a Nigerian brother, Ademola, his name is. Uncle Ade. He
Ademola.
changed my life. He's the one that got a lot done for me. My passport, a lot of stuff that happened, legal things, he really helped me through. And I got to find if I can get back through to him again because he was an incredible inspiration to me. He was like a father figure to me. And he's the one that got me to come to this lovely care home in Barking. Nice area, nice part of Barking, man. Stratfield Gardens, man. Went into the care home. Sharon Nicol was there. Sharon Byfield was there. Chanel Taylor was there. Kirk, Enike, all the staff members. Marcia, they were incredible people, man. They were like family to me. They put me onto a better life. They showed me, okay, you're out now. You know, we don't know you very well, but we're gonna embrace you as family. And there was other young people that were living there. It was like a residential care home.
Wow, yeah.
Bro, I kid you not. It was I get goosebumps. That's why that Drake album, when I listen to that album today, I get emotional.
Takes you back.
Because I'm like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I get emotional because I know that it's significant to me. It brings me back to those days.
Wow. So what next?
Well, after that, you know, during that period of time, I started going to college because when I came out, like even prior to me, you know, when I was inside, I had some friends in there that were like, hey, you know, when you come out, what do you want to do? Everyone was talking about it. Okay, I want to be this. I want to get back into football. I want to get this. So I said to myself, you know, I want to do engineering. I want to go to college and study engineering.
Wow.
So I was like, cool. So when I came out, I applied for the college and I started to, you know, go to the first few lessons. I wasn't really feeling it, to be honest. I wasn't really feeling it at all. But I was like, you know what? I need to do something. Otherwise, if I don't do something, an idle hands is the devil's playground, right? So I knew that I had to be involved in something that was productive. Otherwise, I was going to mess it all up. So I was like, yeah, let me just stay productive.
Amazing. How did you manage to get into college? Because you just come out.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't finish your GCSE. So how was that getting into college process?
I just applied for it, man. Applied for it. I don't know. I gave my social worker, Mr. Ade. He's my guy, man. I mean, he plugged me. He's like, hey, I've got this college for you. It was about maybe half an hour on the train from me. I used to go from Barking to Black Horse Road Station, one train on the overground. And yeah, it's about a 5-minute walk from the station. So I was good to go. Was going there for, and it just gave me something to do. I don't believe that was ever going to be my destiny to be an engineer, but it was something that was a positive distraction. I would go there for a couple of hours. I'll get home. I'll play my FIFA. Back in those days, we had the BBM, the Blackberries.
Oh my goodness! BB pin.
Yeah, we took about a while back. So yeah, it was great, man. It was great. It was a good time. It was just getting away from that lifestyle. Now I'm embarking. I'm in a whole other borough of London. So now I'm like focusing on, the right things and being positive.
But it's also discipline as well, right? It's waking up, going, having something to actually do and getting something done, because the one thing you've got when you're in prison is time, right?
Yeah.
Time to think, time to reflect.
Yep.
And then when you come out, you've got all of this time, but you've got the freedom to actually do whatever you want. If you don't create something constructive, then you could be spending that time doing a whole bunch of things that might not be as constructive, should we say?
Exactly. Exactly.
Brilliant. So how did you feel kind of coming back into that environment, being back in in an education environment again? How was that process for you?
I mean, I've never really been the guy, the academic guy. I've always been I'm more of a creative. So it was always about physical things. So that's why I chose engineering, because it wasn't anything that required me to be some brain box, right? I always wanted to have something that was physical, something that was practical, something that would enable me to use my creative side of my brain rather than my logical academic side. I've always been that person. So it was fun. It wasn't exactly my passion, but I had good friends in that college that, we got along, and, some funny characters that I can still remember today that, we had a good time together, and it was a good 3 years. It was about 3 years, about 2 years, 2.5 years of that college. Yeah, about 2 years, which was pretty cool, man. Pretty good. Got the qualification, and never really done anything with that qualification. I had one work experience working in a garage, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. I can't be a mechanic.
Really?
That's not what I want to do. No,
not for you.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, nope. I walked in there, and in my mind, I walked straight back out.
What was the vision when you thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go and do engineering in college? Like, what was the vision? Why did you think engineering was gonna be it? How did you see that ending?
Well, I love cars. It's always been, okay, I like cars, so let me do something involving cars and automobiles. But it wasn't, as I say, it wasn't given, right? It wasn't given that energy that when I got into it. It looked good on paper. But then when I'm actually getting involved in it, it's like, nah, it's not something that I want to actually do. So from there, I branched out into retail. So I remember sitting down in 2013 in the college. I was just about to finish my diploma. And this is where I believe a lot of people just forget the power of your imagination. Like the imagination that we have, we can imagine anything. And imagination is free. We don't have to pay someone to imagine. But imagining helps you to manifest the life that you actually want. Because the life I live today, and I look at the lifestyle, the friendships I have, the influence, the things that I do in life, that actually is a reflection of what I imagined over 10 years ago.
Wow.
I was sitting down in my college campus in Lockwood House in Walthamstow, 5-minute walk from Black Horse Road Station. And I remember sitting down in the library at the computer, and I started to imagine myself traveling the world, inspiring people, dressing sharp in a suit or in just nice attire, traveling the world, helping people in something. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I had that vision. I remember it as clear as day.
Wow,
right?
That's incredible, because that's far removed from being a mechanic, right?
Yes.
And where did that come from?
Well, I had already started going to church at that time. So I started going to church. I started to embrace my faith more. I started to embrace, God and just be a better person. So in church, we used to wear suits. We used to speak to people and inspire people and help people, right? Potter's House, man. Incredible church. And I was there for about 4 to 5 years. And that was at the beginning of my time in that church. So I started to kind of become a better person spiritually, but just as a man, as a human being. I started to be more respectful. I started to speak better. A lot of the slang I used to speak before, hey, I still chop it up with my boys when I'm outside of my suit, but I'm true to me. I haven't changed. Like, I'm still that kid from East London, right? Inside, but I have a whole nother lifestyle now and a whole nother mindset through being around certain people. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting because during that time I started to think more and more about what do I want to do. And even though I had that vision about, being in a suit and inspiring people, I actually went to retail. So I started working in retail I've done that for a couple years. I worked in tie rack, tie shop. I worked in various different places. And I was just trying to make it happen, man. Just start, working, making money, serving people, and just being the best version of me, making decent money. And then from there, I went into another retail store, then another retail store. I kept shifting. Then I went into customer service.
Wow. So tie rack, that's the tie shop?
Yes, tie shop. Man, tie shop.
I remember tie rack.
Yeah. Classic, man, classic.
Come on.
They used to sell the polo necks. They used to sell the pocket squares, pocket squares. They used to sell suits.
You took something away from there, yeah?
Yes. I'm big into male group. I think every man, you should, especially if they're in a career where they have to dress sharp. Not everyone is in that, but for me and what I do, I tell fellas, listen, man, you gotta look good.
Brilliant.
And it doesn't mean you're in a suit every day, but I do something called Suit Saturdays, where I've been doing this for years, where I purposely wear a suit on the weekend. It doesn't mean that I wear a full-on suit with a tie. It just means I could wear like jeans, ripped jeans with a blazer and a shirt and some nice loafers. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's just how I see, like, okay, dress as you want to be addressed. Just that's for me and my profession, though, what I do. Not everyone has that idea, but yeah, from when I went to tie rack, it was definitely a blessing because I started to see different types of styles, and I put some colors together, started matching my socks with my tie, just different things. So each job that I had just helped me elevate. I worked in a customer service place in Hackney. That was an interesting experience. It was called GoGen. They were interesting. It was like a call center place. We used to do charity work. I worked in another place in Liverpool Street doing customer service. I worked in Clark's. I worked in Clinton Cards. I worked in a Nigerian food store.
What? Which one?
The Food for Living in Barking.
The Food for Living. Okay.
Listen, I used to cook the yams and the big tolly boy, 50 kg rice. Bro, definitely a great experience, man.
A lot of jobs. So, I mean, it sounds like, you were always kind of searching for that something's got to be better than this. Yes. Something's got to be more like. How did you actually come to start doing what you do today?
So 2014, I started working in retail, recruitment. So I was doing recruitment. It was, like sales, but this has now gone from the customer service side more to the recruitment side, working for a medical recruitment company. So I'm now working with nurses and doctors to get them into different hospitals to work as an agency staff. So during that time, I had a couple friends that were around at the time that were trying to tell me about these companies. Hey, join this company, man. Work from home and make an extra income. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. It sounds pretty cool, but does it really work? Is it one of those things? I was a little bit skeptical about it because I was like, well, where's the proof? Show me the receipts. Show me what's going on, right? And so I rejected them for a few years, and eventually, I think 2016, I started to go, my mind started to open. And the reason why is I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, this is so crazy how it comes full circle, because remember I was telling you about Mr. Green, my old school teacher. I met up with him again. So I came out of jail, changed my life. Now he reached out to me. I don't know how we got in contact. I think I called the school. Like, hey, is Mr. Green there? He said, hey, yeah. Wow, Junior, oh my gosh, come see me. Wow. This is like, I left in 2010. This is 6 years, 6 to 7 years, about 6 years after I left that school. Because I dropped out in year 10, right? I dropped out, didn't come back again. So I dropped out. So it's from 2010 to 6 whole years, wow. I hadn't seen this man. I went to see him. He couldn't believe it. He's like, bro, Junior, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Da, 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 da. I was in my suit.
Come on.
I took a day off work just to get to that school to see him. And I was emotional. I was like, man, thank you for believing in me. He goes to me, have you read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad? I was like, no. And guess what he asked me as well? He asked me, have you, right, ever done affirmations? I was like, what's affirmations? I had no idea what he's talking about. What's an affirmation? He goes, listen, it's where you start speaking to yourself. You start to speak positive things to yourself about where you want to be. I was like, okay, cool. Sounds pretty cool. He gave me this book. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to read it. So I ordered it on Amazon. The next day it came. I started reading it. And I was super, 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 super inspired when I read that book. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I now need to do something different. Like, okay, I'm working a job, but I need to do something. So I started to think about, my mind opened. So without him, me meeting him that day was the start of my entrepreneurial life.
Wow.
Because listen, before I met anyone else in entrepreneurship, he was the first person that day in Plaistow, East London, that day changed my life.
That's so powerful because it's always about, everyone talks about gratitude, right? Mm-hmm. And talk about giving value first.
Right.
And the reality is that day would not have happened if you didn't just reflect and think back, you know what, I really want to go and pay my respect and dues to this man who believed in me, right? Who had faith in me, who always had my back. Let me just go and pay him my respects and just tell him thank you. That was the only reason you were there. Right. But as a result of that, you actually took something away, that, like you said, has completely changed your life. For sure. Absolutely, man. I mean, I had to take my glasses off because I was getting a bit teary. No, I'm joking. But, but listen, but for real though, like, he really impacted me because, we started to link up every week. And he's just sitting down with me and he's giving me this free value. And this is a big man. This is a married man of kids. He didn't need to do that for me. But he literally was like, you know what? I'm going to help you. He sat me down. He used to mentor me. We used to meet in Westfield, man, every other week. I think 6 or 7 p.m. after work. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing this business. I'm doing this. Hey, how's the reading going? How's your mindset? How are you feeling? And that was so special for me. And we still speak till today. And it's accountable as well, right? Because when you go back to Mr. Green, you've got to tell him you've done something.
He really has been a big part of my life, man. Big part of my journey.
Incredible.
Shout out to Mr. Green, man. But yeah, after that, so now my mind's open. So 2016, moving into 2017, now my mind is really starting to envision something massive for myself. I'm starting to really get involved in networking groups. I started to read more books. I started to listen to more self-development content. And then 2017, I met a gentleman. Again, I'd already spoke to him a few years prior that he had already showed me about another business. I said, no. He showed me about another business, a crypto company, right? Back in 2016. I said, no. 2017, he says, hey, Derrick, listen, or Junior back then. Hey, I got, so I actually called him because we had been speaking back and forth about the other companies, but I kept saying no. But this is the reason why I say you never give up on people because you never know when they're ready. And I called him. I actually called him. I was like, hey, listen, I heard that you're no longer doing that crypto company. If there's something new you're doing, I want to know about it. I'm ready. Let's meet up. So I almost recruited him to recruit me, basically. I said, listen, you come to meet me. Show me what you're doing. So he met me on a Saturday morning around 12 p.m. He came in this grey blazer with pink stripes, white shirt, jeans. I was like, oh, this guy looking clean, looking sharp. And so he sat me down. He told me about this company, this trading company. I was like, amazing. I like it. I'm in. I saw it. Within 5 minutes, I knew I'm in. I'm ready. Let's go. And then from there, I got started. And that was the start of my journey. from 2017.
Wow. So like this company, like what exactly did they do? When you said trading, what do you mean? What does the company do?
They educated me and they educated everyone on trading and investing. So it was a company that would teach you how to trade, how to make money online.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that kind of the inception of how you've got to where you are today?
Yeah, for sure. Because they I met my mentor, through that company. I met my wife through that company.
Wow.
I met great friends, a lot of people. My network is primarily from that group of people, and it's now expanded all over the world.
Wow. And like in terms of that, like how has that actually had an impact on you in terms of like the business? Obviously, you met him then, and then what kind of happened?
Well, meeting my mentor David Amanite was, I met him and my wife in the same year, 2017, and arguably two of the most important people in my life, other than obviously my mother and a couple of family members. I mean, they're in my top 5 people that I'm accountable to and that I speak to, and it's a blessing. I always say the people that you have around you is the most important thing. That really is where the rubber meets the road. And meeting him in 2017, as soon as I saw David, I said, "This gentleman, yep, I'm gonna follow this guy. I like the way he moves. I like the way he dresses. I like the way he speaks. I like the way he carries himself. Humility." I said, yeah. I knew from then. Wow. I was so convinced. I said, this gentleman, I'm going to follow this guy. He's got the source. He's got the facts. He's got the juice. Whatever this guy is doing, at the time, he was making $100,000 a month. No income claims, guys, right? That is what it is. I mean, today, that for him, that's light money. But back then, he was making that. He had this presidential rollie on. I was like, okay. And I just see the way he was moving, he was just humble, just in his element on stage. And I was like, this guy has got the sauce. So that was really, meeting him was an incredible blessing for me, because then I started to learn about business, mindset, belief, how to impact my mind, how to think the right thoughts, how to be the right person, speaking the right things, affirmations, signs on the wall of where I'm going, writing on my mirror what I want to make that year, just being totally immersed in self-growth and belief.
Isn't that a bit weird though? Why would you do that? Why would you write on the mirror?
Well, writing on the mirror is a powerful thing, because every day you look in the mirror. So you're looking at what you want every single day. And here's something I want to tell you. There's something called the mirror technique. This is going to freak people out. So don't get freaked out. Don't start saying, hey, Derrick's crazy. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this thing works. So the mirror technique, let's say, for example, right, if you are looking at the mirror. Now, what's a mirror made from?
Glass.
Yeah, okay. But what's the if you put glass into a machine that crushes stuff, what does it turn into?
Liquid.
No.
I'm not sure. Fiber?
If you break down glass, what does it turn into? Dust.
Dust. Crumbs, yeah. Dust,
Crumbs.
yeah.
So what's the natural form of a human being?
Dust.
So when they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust, we believe, and this is something that I've read in the book, and it actually works. You're looking in the mirror, you're actually looking at the natural form of yourself. You're talking to your actual natural form. You're talking to the depths of your soul in the mirror, because you're looking at your reflection. You're looking at you.
Wow.
There's no other way, there's no other place in life you can look at yourself. Obviously, you can look at a phone, but a phone is a mirror too, because you're looking at, so the mirror is the only way you can see yourself. So I look in the mirror and I write down my income goal and I speak to myself emphatically every morning. You're rich, you're a millionaire, you're successful, you're sexy, you're incredible.
Wow.
So when I walk on the street, when I walk into an event, they feel my presence because they know Derrick's here. And it's not a cockiness. It's a calm aggression. It's a calm, passionate aggression. Like, yeah, I walk in, they know, okay, he's here, right? Because I have such a strong self-image of myself, right? I'm not perfect, of course, but I just believe that every single one of us has a power inside of us, an unlimited power.
Wow. And how important has that been for your success?
Massively, because, how you see yourself is how others are going to see you. So I see myself as a champion. People will see me as champion.
Wow.
So I call myself Mr. High Energy. That's like my my alter ego, right? Derrick Alexander, Mr. Andre. Now, people were calling me that already. Like years ago, they were calling me, oh, this guy's full of energy. If you ask any one of my close friends, oh, what's Derrick like? Oh, he's crazy. He's loud. He's happy. He's always smiling. He's always telling jokes. So I pictured myself as this person years ago when I was broke, when I had nothing, when I had not much friends, when I had not much money, I had no influence. But I believed that I would be on this path. I'm nowhere near where I need to be right now. But thank God I'm not where I used to be. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
Incredible. Like there's just literally so much to take away from that. Like having that sort of self-confidence, that self-belief, and just those incantations telling yourself you're powerful, you're confident, you're sexy, you're rich, you're going to be a millionaire. It sounds like they said hokey pokey stuff, and it sounds crazy, but the reality is, if you're not saying it to yourself, I mean, no one is going to come and tell you that. And if we are a reflection of the conversations that we tell ourselves, right? Because affirmations are very powerful. And if we're the reflection of the things that we say to ourselves, then why not say all of these positive things? Why not fill your mind with those positive things? Because then you're going to embody, everything that you're saying. And as a result of that, naturally, if you're embodying positivity, confidence, wealth, then all those things are ultimately going to manifest in your life as well, right?
Majority of the self-talk, majority of the things that we say to us, majority of the conversations you have with yourself, I believe about 80 to 90% of the conversations that we have is with ourselves. So literally, and it's not even a physical thing where you're talking verbally in our minds. We're having a conversation. So here's what I've realized. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is fake. Let me give you an example. If you're having a dream, right? This is in David's audio, Conceive, Believe, Achieve, my mentor. He said, if you're having a dream, listen carefully. If you're having a dream that you're being chased, so you have a dream that someone's chasing you, right? And let's say, for example, you're being chased in the dream and you're running so fast in the dream. And let's say you wake up. Why are you sweating if you wasn't being chased in real life? It's because the subconscious mind has been, the way that our subconscious mind has been designed, you cannot differentiate between what is real and what is fake. So if I sit in a Rolls Royce right now, if I go to $1 million house right now, if I put on that big boy AP, that big boy Richard Mille, that £250,000 watch, and I put it on my wrist right now and say, listen, I'm going to have this watch. Or I get inside of a Rolls Royce, right? My subconscious mind says, Derrick's in a Rolls Royce. It's his. Oh my gosh. Which now conditions my mind to believe that it's possible because I've experienced it. But a lot of people say to me, oh, well, why are you so passionate about success? I say because I know that it's attainable through the right type of activities. People don't want to try it out. Listen, when I was broke, I used to go to Harrods to try on the McQueens when I had no money. Now I wear McQueens to the gym. I wear McQueens on the plane. Those are if you find out, ask anyone about me, they'll tell you. If they know me, the only sneakers I like wearing is McQueens. I don't wear Air Forces. I don't wear Nike. I wear only McQueens, or I wear shoes because McQueens is just my shoe, right? It's just my signature shoe, right? It makes me look a little bit taller as well. I'm saying, but you know
high base.
You're gonna high base, but for real, and it's only a shoe. It's not anything, but it's like same thing for a car, same thing for a man, like Canary Wharf. Before I lived there, I used to go and walk in and view when I was broke, but I used to walk into the viewing like I had the bread to buy the place. Oh yeah, what's the deposit on this place? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, great, thank you. At this time I had no money, but I was conditioning myself. My subconscious mind, my body is now being put into an environment where it's experienced something that's beyond my natural or what I've experienced before. So now I'm like, oh, bet, it's done. Like if I can sit in a Rolls Royce, if I can sit in that Bentley, like the blue Bentley, when I get that Bentley and I post it, no one told me it was a luck. No one told me it was fluke because I had that Bentley on my wall for a while. And I know it's coming. The cream interior, black and white rims, dark blue on the outside.
Wow.
Continental, V10, V12, whatever you want. It's done. Because I've already manifested it visually. I've manifested it by sitting inside the car, and I've written down the goal so many times.
Wow.
Because whatever you write down is going to happen. If you write down the word think and you circle the last 3 letters, it says ink. So if you ink it, you think it. And if you think it, you ink it. So whatever you write down, you can actually, you retain 40% of what you write down. So whoever's watching this podcast right now, if you want to really get the information, write the stuff down because you're going to get 40% of what we're saying right now.
Retention.
So I believe in that.
Wow.
Big time.
Wow.
Big time.
Yeah, so it's so powerful, 100%. And I can see how, how much you just got really, really passionate and kind of talking about this stuff because it's so true. I know you coach many, you're a leader of men and women, to be fair. I came to one of your events. It was just last week actually, and it was just crazy impressive. The amount of people who came there for you, who are following you, who you're leading, who are creating. You're creating a lot of, financially free people.
Yes,
you're creating a lot of wealth. Which is incredible. Especially during this tough time. So I'd just really like to applaud you for what you're doing. What you've been able to actually accomplish yourself, but also what you're doing for many, many people to sort of pull them out of those tough situations. So congratulations on that, my friend.
Well, network marketing is an industry that, honestly, I'm so grateful for because people's lives have been changed. I don't take no credit for it. I give God the glory. Obviously, I'm just doing my part. But this industry is going to create a lot of millionaires. A lot of people will be successful from this industry more than ever before. We've seen it in times past, but I do believe 2023 will be a year of miracles.
Absolutely.
That's what we're calling it. And there will be a lot of people that will be not just financially free, but mentally free, right? Socially free, all types of ways, free, be able to live their best lives. Families will be reunited. Incomes will be at the highest they've ever been. People will be getting their dream cars, dream homes, dream holidays. I've been able to travel all over the world thanks to, this incredible industry. Me and my wife have had incredible times together, by being a part of this industry. So it's been absolutely amazing, and we're just getting started.
Amazing.
We haven't even scratched the scratch. Okay? Just getting started.
I can see that. Honestly, it's been an absolutely phenomenal conversation. I've really, really enjoyed this one. We've got a tradition.
Yes.
Which is the final question. As we wrap this up. Now, here's the thing. Like, you have done so much. You have accomplished a lot. Like I said, I was in a room and I was just like, wow, you were leading hundreds of people, right? You are financially free yourself. Like today, what is now your need to succeed?
The need to succeed is to help people who are in need. So my goal right now is to create and help to create, 40 to 50 people who are also 6-figure earners and 7-figure earners in the next 12 months. We want to help as a company, with our company, we want to create 500 of them in the next 12 months, and personally, we want to help at least, if I can say 50 of those directly, we can help them. Perfect. The goal has always been other people. Even when I wasn't, where I am today, it was always about other people because if you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get everything that you want.
Absolutely.
So I focus on helping people get to their goals. It's something that is not always easy. Everyone talks about it because they want to sound really, really, I love people. We love people, yes. But there comes a time where you have to really love people through their indifferences, through their insecurities, through their own challenges, through their mistakes they make. You have to love people and give them the grace. Because a lot of people, they push people away because, you're not qualified to be near me. Well, yes, I get it, but you have to give them that time to grow. If David never gave me his time or gave me a chance to be around him, I wouldn't have really even known what it was like to be around a multimillionaire. When I first went to his home in Houston, he invited me to his home in 2018 when I wasn't even anybody in the industry. But he said, hey, I like you. Come to my home. And it's funny, the people that he said, come to my home, I was the only one that I said, I'm actually going to make my way. We booked our flights. We went there. It was a lot of work to get it done, but we got it done because we really believed that you want to help us, and now we've got that experience. And I first sat in his Rolls Royce, I sat in his Ferrari, I sat in all. I'm like, this man is actually giving us access. We're going to make sure that we pay it forward. So when we get, now, in Canary Wharf where we live, people come and they're inspired. Oh, wow, this is lovely. Or, so it's like we're able to pass that forward and pay that forward. So the goal, bro, is really it's like what they say when you get on a plane. They say, hey, fasten your seatbelt in the scenario of an emergency. Make sure that you're sorted first, or make sure that your seatbelt is tight first, or make sure your situation is, or make sure that your mask is on first before you help someone else. So it's like it's the delicate balance between when you're on the plane. They say put your mask on first, and then help someone else. So it's like, okay, make sure that you have some knowledge and some understanding of what is taking place, and then when that is done, when your mask is on, you can now help someone else. And for me, that mask represents protecting yourself from all the outside people that might tell you why it can't work. I had so many people that told me, oh, you're not going to do it. Yeah, it's when, are you still doing that phone thing? Are you still doing that internet thing? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're doing that thing. But, it took time, and thank God that we're here right now, and we're looking to help many more people become successful.
Well, Derrick Alexander.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.